Hey, let's talk more about the Packers, though. Scary game, great win. They're going into their bye. Where do we find them and fit them now among the NFC elite?
So it's funny because they're 3-2-1, and we've got the Rams who are atop of the division. We've got a defending champion still in the conference. And yet, if you were to tell me it was the Packers versus anyone, I can't say it's slam dunk. I'm taking anyone. The team that scares me the most is the Saints, and I'll tell you why. Not the Rams. The Rams haven't won it yet. They haven't been there. They haven't done it. So for them, it's going to be a lot of bright light type deal when they go into Lambeau or they're home against the Packers. Like, oh my God, we've never been in a playoff game. We've never been through adversity. The Saints have done that. They've actually lost in big games, too. We've seen them lose to the Minneapolis Miracle last year. We've seen Alex Smith rip their heart out, and they've won the Super Bowl with Drew Brees and Sean Payton. So, to me, right now, the Packers are right in the mix, and that division is really hairy. But I would say it's the Saints and the Rams, and then the Packers. But I would give the Packers the edge over every other team in a big spot right now.
Really?
Other than the Rams.
Other than the Rams, even the Minnesota Vikings, who are in the thick
So
of
are
it.
are they?
Even the Lions, who beat Tom Brady and Aaron
Lions
Rodgers. You know, so I don't know. I'm looking
big
at
game
this.
spot, I'm saying. I
get what you're saying.
I can't pick against Rodgers against Kirk Cousins yet.
I hear what you're saying. And, you know, their record, it kind of speaks loudly for the team because when you hear 3, 2, 1, what usually comes after that? Lift off. And I feel like it's time for the season to lift off. And that's Aaron Rodgers. Right around this time, he usually says something. I don't know, relax, or we'll make a run, or whatever it is. Even though we went through that highlight read and we didn't see one run play. And I know for fans at home, they say, well, when you get into the postseason, you're going to have to run the ball to keep good quarterbacks off the field. Or when you have a great quarterback, it doesn't matter who's on the field competing against them. Last night, I saw Aaron Rodgers just being Aaron Rodgers. I mean, outside the pocket, throws like that, dropping back traditionally. And then what was even scarier, when the game was in its waning moments, he drops back. He negotiates the pocket. He moves just so beautifully. And then he runs for the first down and then fights for a few extra yards and takes a little bit of a hit. That right there shows me, along with plays like this, that he is elite. And oftentimes, I used to think as a player, because there are so many guys on the field, not one player can make that big of an impact. I don't even care if you're a quarterback. This isn't the NBA. You're not LeBron. You can't carry a team. Aaron Rodgers can. He can carry a team without a running game. He can carry a team without a true number one. He can make all these other guys around him. And I'm not saying they don't have a true number one, because they have Devontae Adams, and they have a great group of guys around him. So for me, to answer your question, are they elite? Yes. And I will say that emphatically.
After Rams and Saints, it's them. What do you got?
I don't know if Rodgers can carry a team. This is what I mean. Like, the LeBron thing is interesting. We know he's the best player in the world, but he gets to the finals and loses almost every year. You know, and we haven't seen. We love Rodgers and we gush about him. He's so good, but how many times does he get to the Super Bowl? One. Even within their own division, the Packers have an identity crisis. Like, it's almost perfect. You know, they own the Bears until the Bears knocked them off. They lost to the Lions, and then they tied the Vikings. So this whole purgatory they're in. We need to see other players. That last night, that was great. That's not sustainable. They're at home against the Niners with their backup quarterback. You can't win 12 games that way. I will just point to one team that we're going to find a lot about this weekend, and is the reigning world champions. I like the Philadelphia Eagles. A little bit lying in the grass right now. They beat the crap out of the Giants, which maybe the Giants are that bad. They play Carolina this weekend. Carolina's coming off a loss. If Philadelphia beats them, let's say, by 10 points, they are now running into the ring with those other guys. They have to earn that respect. They got to beat Carolina.
Are you telling me that you don't think that the Packers are the NFC North champions? If you had to choose?
I think it's time for the Vikings.
You're bringing up the Lions, you're bringing up the Vikings. Like, I
think it's time for the Vikings.
The Packers have made it to the playoffs 8 straight years under Rodgers. They didn't last year because Rodgers missed 9 games. His defense is the number 7 defense going into Week 7, and these players are stepping up. You can say that about a lot of different weapons on offense. I feel like they're better than what you're saying that they are.
Maybe. They got to score to settle with the Vikings. They couldn't beat the Vikings in their home field, and Lambeau Field. They couldn't beat them, and they tied. So they got to score to settle.
Well, guys, are we off on the Bears? What's going on here? You know, we did that.
Listen, the Bears took a big step back, and that's why you don't sit here and say they're kings of the North when they're 2-1, because then they can't finish. I happen to think there might be something good for the Bears. I'm telling you, that loss.
They needed it.
Khalil Mack going to be the MVP. Mitchell Trubisky's magic sleeve
has its own Twitter account.
Bye week. We're changing the game.
That's so scary to come off a bye week and lose like
a bye week where you read your headlines is what's most scary.
I think there's a lot of headlines, and maybe with New England coming to Soldier Field, maybe they needed to be told that their bleep stinks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that could be a good thing. I believe in that coaching staff.
Celebrate it. Go ahead.
No, it's exactly what you said about the Cowboys. You said it earlier in the show. I need to see more. Same thing with the Bears. I feel like we all need to see more before we're completely bought in.